Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Refresh, and in this video I'll be featuring my very own Renault Megane RS280 Cup. Now this video was shot in late December and I haven't got the chance to edit it then, but here it is. I'll be taking you through this whole steps of detailing and also showing you some of the little nuances and some of the challenges that show up on a detailing project. And hopefully this will be somewhat entertaining, relaxing, and also informative for you to further appreciate what detailing does for your car. Now before this video starts, please help me hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate it, and please check out my channel for more car enthusiast related content from vlogs, driving POV and sounds, detailing and reviews. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification to get alerts when new videos are out as well. And with that, please enjoy this episode of Refresh. Okay, the car is now clean and we are halfway through the paint correction. When I say halfway, half the car is corrected, half the car isn't corrected yet. Now, I want to take you through the whole paint correction process. A lot of the defects on the car are very subtle. Unless you look really close, you'll start to see it. On a subconscious level, my belief is that all those little things, we actually pick it up with our eyes, just that we cannot actually distinct it like rationally or consciously. You see this side of the paint is corrected. You can see, and over here the paint is not yet corrected. Now let's see over here. There are more haze. For example, you can see this. This is hazing. You see how it spreads, right? That's what we call a haze, and that's because the swirl marks are actually reflecting some light from here onwards. Okay, but you can see also very subtly there's a lot of swirl marks around it, and this is all caused by wash marring. As a result, you see the light sort of start to spread and becoming less and less sharp. Again, it's very subtle, but I believe our subconscious mind pick it up. Just take a look at that. That's a clean surface, but there is very, ever so slightly some, distortion in the paint. But if you just walk across to this side, you can see that you don't have that haziness that's coming up anymore, right? Because the swirl marks have been removed. And as a result, if you look just at this panel, you might think, wow, this is a new car, all right? And that's because you remove all the swirl marks. This is very subtle things that make the car feel great. Here, voila, there you go. All right, you can see they're all littered with, can you see just outside the lights? They're all swirl marks. Now, contrary to belief, they are not actually round. They're actually random, up, down, left, right, whatever, right? But just because the light is shining in a circular motion, you're seeing the reflection of circular swirl marks like that. This is all due again to improper washing technique. And in my experience and a lot of detailers' experience, we find that always the top side, the hood, the shoulders sometimes, all these have a lot of swirl marks. And the side of the doors usually you find significantly less. And our suspicion is because when people wash the car, they apply a lot of pressure as they're going on the car. Again, that's improper washing technique. You want to gently just agitate the dirt using very little force, but using the right shampoo as well. Hence, I always say that washing car is one of the most important skills of car care, and it's one of the most underestimated skills. So to help people sort of figure out and navigate this whole car wash process so you can do it properly, I'll put a link in the description below. I've done a tutorial on the step-by-step process on how to detail wash your car properly, and with that way you can reduce majority of the scratch marks while keeping your car nice and shiny all year round. So we talked about swirl marks, talk about what causes them, but we're also going to quickly talk about the tools, what you need to actually fix all of that. Now, I know most of you are going to say, Thomas, I'm not interested in doing any of this polishing stuff, and that's okay. But I want to show you this so you can actually appreciate your detailer's work and actually maybe start asking the questions to your detailer when you're sending your car to be detailed as well. So this knowledge helps you navigate this whole world of detailing, polishing and stuff like that, because there are a lot of people overselling their stuff and not really knowing what they're talking about, I believe, out there. So I think knowledge is the best way to protect yourself, right? So for every time we do a paint correction, you need some polishing machine. There is rotary machines, there are dual action polishers. This is mine. This is a Rupes Bigfoot LHR12E. Okay, so this is the dual action polisher, and attached to it are foam pads or whatever pads that you're going to use. So think of pads as the one sort of abrading and like removing paint from your car. And depending on how deep you want to cut into your paint, use a different kind of pads. So the strongest cut I have on my arsenal is this one over here. This is a wool pad, a coarse wool polishing pad from Bigfoot. And if you look really closely, you can see the wool is kind of short, right? And all this will produce a lot of cut. So you can cut a lot of paint away. Now this is good, but the downside is it removes a lot of paint. So I usually use this when I have very deep cuts or when the paint is really hard, like this one over here. So with this one, I use the first step on this one, right? But after doing that, the paint can have a little bit of haze. So I follow up with another one, which is the foam pad. Now this one, if you can look closely, it's softer. It's foam and it's soft. Okay, it may not do a lot of cut, but what it'll do is that it'll finish really well. There are a few liquids over here. So the first liquid I'll use is what we call a polishing called cut compound. This one is just the same idea like the pads. Different liquids cut differently. This one cuts a lot. Okay, so this one produces a lot of cut, then it produces a lot of dust, and it eats into the paint a lot. Again, we use this only when we have deep scratches or very hard paint, like the one we have over here. And then we follow up with this one over here. You can see it's called fine polishing compound. So this one, it produces less cut and finishes nicer the car. Now I'll share this with you because very often you go out there and people say, hey, I'm doing 5 steps, 6 steps, 7-step polish and stuff like that. All of that I think is irrelevant. In my opinion, it depends on what the car needs, right? So for example, the top here has a lot of scratch marks. So I use 2 steps. 1 step to cut deeply and the second step to finish nicely. But if you go on the side, there's very little scratch marks, especially for the horizontal surfaces, right? And I use 1 step and that's it, I'm done. The less paint you can remove from the car, the better it is. That's the rule of polishing. So don't get fooled by, oh, I'm getting a better deal because it's 3-step or 5-step, 7-step. All this irrelevant. What it matters is what your car needs. Every car is different, every paint is different, and you gotta use the right tools for it. So don't judge a detailer by how many steps they're giving you or what price they're giving you. Judge a detailer by their approach. Ask them how they're going to fix the paint, what steps they're using, what's their philosophy, So like Ryson over here at Miyagi's, I learned a lot from him. He's always less is more. And in fact, he always tells me don't try to chase all the scratches because we've got to ask yourself, how much paint are we willing to burn for that? Those are the steps. I hope it gives you appreciation of what your detailer is doing and also asking your detailers the right question. If you want your car to be properly detailed, do visit Miyagi's over here, right? You can see Ryson's over there. The sensei, all right? So yep, I'm going to continue on this car. There's a lot of work to do. I've got to finish the sides, finish the other half, and then hopefully by the end of the day I can wash the car, keep it in here. Next day I'm going to coat the car and make it look brand spanking new. Gosh, I love the color. Look at that. You have orange tone, you got gold tones and yellow tones. Wow. All right, back to work. So nothing much to say except I'm very happy with this. But before we go, always because we visit the dojo, Miyagi, and Dr. Ryson, because Ryson is also the godfather of this car. If it's not for Ryson, I wouldn't have owned this car. Yeah.
For a second, I forgot about that.
Yes, it was you that you told me. Then the next day, I think in a few hours, I mean literally less than 12 hours, I was there to buy the car already.
Yeah, less than, I think it was like 4 or 5 hours later.
Yeah, went to buy the car.
I sent you at night, the morning you go already, I think.
Yes. So, well, I did most of the detail, but Ryson was here to supervise me. And of course, he helped out with the car a lot as well. But Ryson, as always, every car that comes into your dojo, you test drive the car a bit. And I always want to ask you, what's your favorite part of this car?
It's not very tough.
Well, he's a fellow Frenchie as well, so.
I think I'll take the front end.
The front end?
The look, the headlight, the fog light, right? DRL is in the headlight, right? So that one should be called the fog light. Yeah, basically the ice cube thing at the bottom and the DRL that goes swoop down. I think that one does it for me. It's looks very smart, and when the lights are on.
Yeah, and it's the Renault Sport logo actually, right?
That one, no, I think it's the racing flag.
Racing flag. Yes.
The checkered flag,
Yeah. Oh, we know you're a big fan of this car, big fan of Renault, right? So what is it about you drove this car, right? How do you feel about this car then?
The car feels very urgent, very immediate, even though the engine is slightly smaller than the previous generation, but I think it's a lot stronger, the engine. It goes very quickly, and it doesn't run out of breath at the top end, which is nice for a turbo car.
So big question for you. We don't, okay, your car is a different generation, so I can't compare it to the FK8R. This is probably the same generation, the FK8R. So which one would you pick? Let's say today you got FK8R here waiting for you, and then they're same price.
Always the French.
Always the French. Why is that? Because FK8R is, all the journalists are super, like they praise FK8R so much.
It's a great car. I guess it's just not for me.
Not for you?
Yeah, I guess it's just not for me. Like I have my own Megane. I test drove your Megane. I think the French just did it the way I like it.
Alright, thanks so much, Ryson. Alright, if you are looking for Miyagi's, link in the description below. Lovely place, and of course Ryson's a great guy to chat with, especially if you're a car guy. Okay, so it's time for me to get out of this place and drive this car. I miss this car, so let's do it, yeah? Alright, see you guys.
Thanks.